What is up, everybody? Bandit and Chad here. So now that we've been living with these trucks for a little while, and now that we've been on YouTube for a while and we've heard from a lot of you all, we realize that there are a couple complaints with these trucks. It's nothing real serious, and most of it, can be lived with and that sort of thing for most people, but we did just want to cover those and kind of give our opinions about that kind of stuff. The first thing is the seating position. Personally, we didn't find the seating position to be a huge change over the second gens. The seats are a good bit more comfortable, but it's pretty much to be expected. You're not sitting up really high as you would be in, say, a full-size truck like a Tundra or a Silverado or something like that. And honestly, all the other mid-size trucks that I've been in, given like a Ford Ranger and a Chevy Colorado, the first gen Chevy Colorado, and everything like that, it's really comparable to that, and really a lot of crossovers and that sort of thing.
So another complaint that we have seen in the comments before is that people do not like the fuel economy that they're getting. So that could be for a number of reasons. Either their truck is brand new and hasn't quite broken in all the parts yet, or there are just so many different things that could cause bad fuel economy. But as we have said before, we get pretty decent fuel economy. We can get into the lower 20s. During these winter months, it does seem to get a little harder on fuel economy for a number of reasons, such as fuel, starting up your truck and letting it run for a little bit. But I have right over 9,000 miles on my truck, and I'm still getting pretty decent fuel economy, pretty much always hitting close to 20 in most cases. That is the combined rating for the truck. And I could say the same for him. He's getting pretty decent fuel economy numbers. And once your truck does get broken in a little bit more, your numbers are going to show.
Right, and I do have right about 14,000 miles on my truck right now, and the numbers just keep getting better as we go. Probably around the 20,000 mile mark or wherever, those numbers will start to level off. But as everything's still breaking in a little bit, as he said, it will get a little bit better. Now, another complaint that we've been hearing a lot about these trucks is the ticking sound that comes from the engine. A few people that I've heard have even gone so far as to get rid of the truck because they were so concerned about this sound. That seems like a little bit of a stretch to me, and we definitely haven't had any problems with that ticking sound. But essentially what that ticking sound is it's coming from the engine, and it's a feature of the direct injection system.
Yeah, what you're hearing is the sound of each of those direct injectors firing off, each little bit of fuel that it's putting in, and also the cleaning feature that this truck has may be a part of that sound. You do have your high pressure fuel pump in and under the hood connected to the engine, so that is distributing all of the fuel evenly to the direct injectors, where it's a little different from the port injectors.
Right, and this is really nothing that's limited to Toyota. My mom has a Chevy Traverse, and that does have a direct injected V6 as well, and it does make the same exact sound. And I've been listening to a couple other cars as I walk by them in parking lots or something like that, and really all modern cars that have those modern engines are going to make that same sound. Another thing to keep in mind about the engine is this engine is new for the Tacomas as of 2016, but before then it was used in a wide variety of Lexus vehicles, and since then it seems like it's going into more and more Toyota vehicles, at least in the near future. So as many of y'all may recall, I was out of town last week, and actually where I was, I spent a short stint in the Dallas area, and then I did go down to the Florida Keys right before I had to come back down here to school. Unfortunately, the weather wasn't so great, so I'm not going to be showing off any sun that I got down there or sharing any fishing stories or anything like that. But I did want to go ahead and share some of the trucks that I saw down there. I did see a lot of the new Honda Ridgelines, as well as a lot of Ram Rebels. For whatever reason, in this area you don't see a whole lot of Ram Rebels, so I was really interested to see all of those. And also, while I was in Florida, I did actually see a brand new Raptor. So I didn't realize that the 2017s were actually hitting customers yet. I knew they were supposed to be going out to dealerships, but that was really exciting. It was in kind of the concrete gray color, and it was really cool. When the Raptor first came out, I wasn't super excited about the look of it. I really liked the first generation Raptor and kind of all it stood for, but the second generation, at least in the pictures, I wasn't super excited about. However, I can say in person it is way more muscular and actually has a really sweet look to it. While I was on my way home, I did pick up a new edition of Car and Driver, which talks a lot about the Raptor, and I plan on doing a video here before too long about that. So again, thanks to Chad for covering while I was out of town last week, and hopefully we'll be making videos here together for the next coming couple months. But look for a video about that new Raptor and kind of what I think about the Raptor as a truck coming before too long. And also, as we did mention, we did go up to Flagpole right before we came back down to Tech, so we will be making a video about that as well. So we do have a whole lot of interesting content coming your way before too long, and we'll be working on that when we can. But thank you all very much for watching. Have a fantastic week, everybody. We'll catch you next time.
See ya.